Hello and welcome to Eternal Durdles. I'm your host, Zach Clark, and with me as always, Phil Bleckman. Phil, how's it going, man?
Hello, Phil Bleckman, and with you as always is Phil Bleckman. What's going on, man?
I'm excited. I love these episodes where we get to like break down the Duelist style spoilers from Maro. I have, as a youth, I collected the Duelist, and I used to like love this article. I'd go through it, trying to figure out like what these hints meant, and
Sure.
20 plus years later, we're still getting stuff like this, and it's just fun to go through and to guess what the answers are.
Not only that, but this is kind of a much desired redo of the first D&D set that they did, which was extremely underpowered and not interesting at all because it was a core set.
Yeah,
So they didn't add really too much spice beyond like, hey, look, there's flavor words, which I actually like. I really do like flavor words. But now that this is a commander product and
there were flavor words that didn't mean anything though.
I like that though.
So sparingly.
My favorite thing in every Magic set when they like, I much prefer top down sets than bottom up sets. I love like
agreed.
I love the flavorful stuff because I really enjoy like the Vorthos of the fantasy. So I think this is going to be not only fun because you know your shit, but also I expect there to actually be some powerhouses in this set for Legacy.
Because it's a commander set. So
as is the case with every commander set.
Yeah, like what we said before. Because these things scale inappropriately for a two-player game. Sometimes you find something amazing like Trini Nemesis or Currency Converter.
Also, there was a spoiler. I'm going to bring it up. So there was a spoiler that was released. I'm not sure where it was released, but it got day one errata.
Day zero errata.
Day zero errata. And it's Zevlor Elturel Exile. Do you know this character?
Nope.
Never heard of him. There's a Grixis legend, Tiefling warrior named Zevlor. I'm sorry, Zevlor. Zevlor. Zevlor.
Yep.
My first college roommate was named Zev. So here we go. All right. So Zevlor is a 4-mana 4/2 legend, Tiefling warrior. It's 1 in Grixis mana, so 1 of each color Grixis plus 1. It has haste and 2 tap. When you cast next, this is the actual wording. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a single opponent or a single permanent an opponent controls this turn, for each other opponent, choose that player or a permanent they control, copy that spell, and the copy targets the chosen player or permanent. Now, that's a lot of words.
What?
It's very
I feel like
simple.
there's an easier way to say that.
So templating wise within the rules, they have to write it this way so it works. But functionally what it does is when you cast a spell targeting an opponent or a thing, copy it for each other player targeting that player or a thing they control. It's like, when you actually understand it, for each opponent, when you actually understand it, it's a very simple thing that it's trying to do. It's like this casts a copy for each of your opponents, essentially.
Like myriads a spell.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like not difficult, but the wording of that is insane.
Right? That literally should be a keyword. That's a perfect example of take that concept, make it all rules text, and then keyword it, and then never have to do that again. Like every time you cast a spell, you're going to copy it for each opponent, and you can target an opponent or a permanent that opponent controls.
Just call it Zevlor. Like, I'm going to Zevlor this spell. But that was sent to me by our good friend and friend of the pod, Eric Virgo, who in the condescending SpongeBob font said the stack is too complex.
Yeah, no, of course the stack is too complex.
That's goat material. So shout out to Virgo.
Yep, Eric Virgo. There he is.
We're back in. Let's get.
Let's strap in for this True Believers style duelist spoiler thing. So let's start with let's see. First up, here are some things you can expect. A returning mechanic that feels apropos for D&D and makes a new card type.
Makes use of a new card type. All right.
So is that partner, the like weird partner background mechanic thing? Is that like partner?
No, new card type is a background, which has
Sure.
already been spoiled on a couple.
But
of
it's
cards.
like, but the mechanic is basically partner, right?
The mechanic is essentially partner. Now, I don't know exactly how backgrounds work yet, where a bunch of cards say choose a background,
Yeah.
and then you can choose like the cards that are backgrounds. So far, they've been like enchantments. They're not like creatures, but
Yeah.
essentially they become another commander. So I guess you could just cast it from your command zone, and then the same way you would be able to pay for the tax, which means that for legacy purposes, they're just
It's just enchantment.
Background is irrelevant.
Well, and a lot of times it's like your commander does X, so it's completely textless for legacy.
Right. So the background text itself is completely textless because there's no command zone in legacy. But background is a new card type, if that's the one that they're talking about here, which means that your Tarmogoyfs or whatever, things that care about card types, if you have it in your deck,
yeah, now you can have a 10-11 Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, because the all of the backgrounds that they've spoiled so far are playable cards. Like you can just play them as a normal enchantment, and it's just like a background enchantment or whatever. But it will count as a card type as a background if that's what he's referring to here. So it means that there's an additional card type. So if there is like a background that costs like a single mana that has any relevant ability at all, like we've seen enough Tarfires in our life that it's possible that something like that could have space.
Sure. Okay. So then we have where are we at here? Then we have a card capable of making an ox, boar, or goat.
I'm finally getting my invitational card.
I'm going to call that Bovinomancer.
Yeah, Bovinomancer. We need
Bovinomancer, because the Ovinomancer exists, and that makes sheep. So I don't know if
Bovinomancer.
Yeah, there you go. All right. The word 7 appears on 2 cards, and the word 9 appears on 1 card. I'm going to go with the 7 schools of magic, the 7 sages, and the 9 hells.
I hope. Do you think the 7 schools of magic? So because it shows up on 2 cards, you think that the 7 schools of magic is an individual card?
It's probably like a weird enchantment that's like the 7 schools of magic.
Yeah,
something weird like that. So like that's conjuration, evocation, divination, necromancy, enchantment. What else we got? What else we got, Phil? Help me out.
This is your fastest finger. This is.
I've run out of fingers, Phil. I've run out of fingers.
Who wants to be a millionaire? Let's play that underneath this.
Schools of magic. Let's find out real fast.
Which one are you in?
Okay, we've got transmutation and illusion are the other 2. Abjuration. So there are actually 8 schools of magic. So I take it all back. There are 8 schools of magic. I don't know what the 7 is. 7 heavens? I don't really know.
7 wonders.
Yeah, I don't know if there are 7 wonders in Faerun, unfortunately, because that is the plane we're on. We're in the world of Faerun in the Forgotten Realms. In the to give you a sort of world, country, state, city kind of thing. So world is Faerun, right? The area is called the Forgotten Realms, which is like just like kind of a continent in Faerun. To my knowledge, I could be completely wrong on this. Faerun might actually just be the continent. But anyhow, so then you've got Baldur's Gate, which is basically just like that one region, which is a city. So that's kind of, it's very like this little tiny portion of D&D. Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm explaining too much D&D to people.
Let me just say, as somebody who has never been in D&D, we were talking about this right before we hopped on the cast. Like D&D, like I've now watched a couple of games of D&D with like people who are proficient at playing the game, and it is a lot of fun. Like
people with hands and mouths.
It's actually really well, people who also like. It almost feels like they're very good improvers, almost like
that. I mean, that's what D&D is. It's basically it's basically improv with the guy that can no-and you.
Yes, and it's like when you're watching people who are proficient, it's like similar to watching, if you were to watch a game of Magic with 2 players that are very proficient, know a matchup really well. Yeah. It's like very engaging to watch those players play it like a very fast pace and everything like that. It was very similar with D&D. It was very cool. If I had more time, I would be a D&D player.
Fun fact, D&D is actually how I got into Magic the Gathering, because that was on my 13th birthday, I was handed it's called First Quest. It's a box set. I'll pop it up over here. But you can go onto YouTube, and it came with a CD. And the CD is like an intro to D&D, which is really cool because it shows you like these kids, like, it gives you like this idea of like 5 kids are like, we're gonna play D&D, and the one kid's like, I don't know, that's nerd stuff, and the guy's like, don't worry about it, I've already learned all the rules, I'm your dungeon master and I'll help you out with everything. And so it goes to this thing.
I love that. That sounds kind of nerdy, and his response is, don't worry, I'm a dungeon
don't worry,
master.
I'm already a nerd. Yeah. So then it goes through that, and and then it does like this whole thing where they're like, okay, you see a temple, what do you do? And it goes through the whole scenario as the kids, and then it goes, and this is what it would be like if it was really happening. And it goes up, like, it's got voice actors that are like adults doing it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like, look, a temple, an evil temple, and it's like got this, like, it's very cool.
Yeah,
but
they just make it a movie.
The other cool part is that so I was, just getting into the game. The really neat part about that was that it had like 40 tracks. Mm-hmm. And the tracks would coordinate with the rooms in the adventures you were given. So you didn't have to do any explaining or anything if you were a dungeon master, which was great if you were a first-time dungeon master, because you'd be like, okay, you walk into the room and this happens. You're like, track 15. And it plays that track and shows you what's going on. So it did a lot of the footwork for you as a kid DM, Anyhow, let's talk about the next one. A new legendary colorless artifact token named Volo's Journal.
Okay, so we don't know what the card is, but we do know that Volo already is a magic card.
Volo exists as a magic card. Volo is sort of the like adventure. He's kind of like the adventure blogger of the D&D world. He goes around and like just like writes down what he sees, and he's kind of according, at least this is what I know from playing the Baldur's Gate 3 game, is that he's kind of a wuss and a bit of a psychopath, but he's not a bad guy. He's just kind of an idiot. He's a bard. Enough. Yeah, he's kind of a bard. Yeah. Anyhow, I'm guessing that this is like Sarpadian Empires Volume 8, where it like makes like a bugbear, it makes like a dragon, like pick a token and it makes that token.
That makes a lot more sense than what I was thinking. Since his flavor was as like the card that he has is that you create copies as long as you don't have another creature type or whatever. Okay. It does something like that, right? Like the effect is like copied creatures if you don't have the same types, so it incentivizes you to play different kinds of creatures.
Yeah.
That this was going to be essentially the birthing pod for that. So it's like you can birth a pod for a creature of not the same type. That
would be good too. I think both of those are valid and totally possible.
I think yours is better options. Though. Yours is likelier.
So then we have a 10/10 creature with trample and flying that you can cast for 1 green mana.
A single green mana to get a 10/10 flying trampler, as though green wasn't getting enough.
Initially, I thought this was Bahamut because we had Tiamat in the last one, but Lord of the Keeper of the Flowers, whatever that guy is, the Grand Master of Flowers.
Yeah, Master of Flowers, bro.
Yeah, that is actually Bahamut. So I don't know. I'm thinking, so because I thought this would just be like the complement to Tiamat. But the more I think about it, like, so green and flying is hard, right? Because there's not a lot of green flyers, right?
Is it a giant insect or something?
No. So I thought about it, and maybe it's a dinosaur. I looked up
flying dinosaur.
I looked up. I went onto the Baldur's Gate wiki too for the video games, and I didn't see anything that was like that. I feel like is so. This is the same as Tarrasque, and Tarrasque is like a very high level character as far as like power and toughness is concerned, or character monster. So I was looking under like, taking their experiences and kind of, their experience value and their challenge range and trying to do that. And all I found that was in that range was like different kinds of beholders, like, the hive tyrant and stuff like that. And they're all pretty much black creatures. So I think this is probably like a dinosaur, something weird like that, like which would be great. Like if there's a, more dinosaur love, why not? But like, I don't know that, like I said, I've got my D&D box set, right? I went through the D&D box set looking for answers, and I didn't see anything that was particular to this. It's got to be a legendary creature too, right? Like, come on.
I don't know. It will probably be a legendary creature, or it's just going to be a Death Shadowy creature. Here's my bet. Okay. Do we know the name of the character in the Berserk art.
The character in the
original Berserk art.
No, I don't think
the original Berserk art.
Yeah.
I think it's that guy.
We should definitely give that guy a name.
I think it's going to be this guy who's been berserked. So it's going to be like it's going to be like Zach the Berserked. Yeah, and it's going to be a 10/10 for green. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's it.
Okay. So next is a lord for demons, devils, imps, and tieflings. I mean, that's kind of. I mean, I just think that's whatever. I would say Asmodeus, but he already exists as a magic card. So
there isn't like
I don't know. I mean, it's probably not even legendary. Honestly, it's probably just like Pit Fiend or something like that.
It's like a generic lord. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that they would do, even though they've already made cards for the core set? Do you think that they would dip and make other versions of legends they've already made?
So I think they could. I mean, like saying Bahamut is not out of the realm of possibility because we didn't get a Bahamut creature card. So you know, Bahamut could exist as that 10/10. So I don't think I think that it's totally possible. And like, why wouldn't they? Because they used a lot of really good they used a lot of like really good characters and like gave them kind of shit versions of themselves. So like
they had to power it down because it was a core set, right? So
let's bring those back. Real quick, I wanted to tell you guys about MoxField.com, a great website for deck building. Really great spot to put your legacy decks and your commander decks in. They do tags. You can set it up so that you can look through. You can tag your individual cards in your deck and be like, these are the cards I'm considering. These are the cards once I buy the cards I need, I'll remove these. You can be like, these are the trash cards that I just have in there until I can afford dual lands, stuff like that. There's so much functionality with MoxField that like, if you're not using it, you're using a superiorly inferior deck building website. And I think that that statement there should tell you everything you need to know. Go to MoxField.com, sign up, it's free. You can use it on your PC. You can use it on your Mac. Ooh. You can use it on your phone. Ooh, little indigestion there. You can use it on your phone. You don't even need an app. It all works seamlessly right through your web browser. So anyhow, MoxField.com, check it out. Powering up. So the next one actually speaks to that. A character, we got a lot of complaints about not being in Adventures of Forgotten Realms as a card. I have a few guesses for this. Okay. So I think it's Jarlaxle, which is a character from the Driss novels. He is one of the other he's like a male mercenary drow elf. Then there's also Elminster. I think Elminster's probably the answer because Elminster is sort of the Gandalf type character in the Forgotten Realms universe. And I'm pretty sure we didn't get a version of him in the last one.
I don't think so. Yeah.
And then there's other options are like Matron Malice, which is like Driss Do'Urden's mom. Canticle, who is like a super high level priest who like pairs up with Driss at some point, and he's a pretty cool character. And then there's Zach Nafine, who is Driss' dad. All of those are distinct possibilities. I think the two most obvious choices would be Jarlaxle or Elminster, or maybe like the Lady of Silvery Moon.
Do you think we would get Zach the Berserked here?
Ooh, maybe.
I complained about the guy from the Berserk card not being in Legend of the Forgotten Realms.
There you go.
Adventures in the Forgotten.
They're like, this is where he belongs. Okay, a card that enhances all creatures with mana abilities. And I only had Druid Lord. I don't know what that would be. That's just a card.
All your mana dorks are 3/3s now. We skipped over 3 legendary creatures that are gods, which I assume is fairly easy to pin down.
Ooh, so I went with Sirik. Shout out to my bud John Carr, who is a big Sirik fan. Mystara and Maliki. Sirik is the murder god. Mystra is the Mystara. I forget how to pronounce it. I haven't looked for a minute. Is the god of magic. And then Maliki is sort of the like ranger druid god that Driss Do'Urden is the is a patron of. And also, actually, I take that back. I think we're gonna get instead of Mystara, Tempest. Tempest is what's it called? Wolfgar's god, and he calls out to Tempest a lot in the novels. So I think that Tempest is a good one. He's like a Viking god. He's all about like power and yelling out his name in battle and stuff.
Yeah, we just got out of call time not long ago. They'll put a Viking in there.
Yeah, why not?
The card that enhances all creatures with mana abilities is as though Dryad Arbor needed any more help.
Yeah. Oh God.
Get your Dryad Arbor.
Gives all creatures with mana abilities haste.
Yeah, awesome. It's just ley line. It's like the better green ley line.
Yeah. A spell ability that can copy something X times. That's
a spell that can copy something X times. So every storm card.
Yeah, like that's It's just give target spell storm.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Storm.
I don't know what this would be called. It would be a spell in the spell book, I'm sure.
How sick would a card? How sick would a card be if it said the next spell you cast this turn gains storm?
No,
That'd
don't
be pretty hot.
Yeah.
What a combo card
It
that
would
be,
probably
right?
change storm decks. You would play something else.
You'd just be like, all right, lightning bolt, storm.
Yeah.
Cast 6 copies.
Also, if it was like 2 mana and did that effect, like you'd probably just throw it into every like fair deck and brainstormed 8 times.
What if the card was the next spell you cast this turn gains storm?
Oh!
So let's break the stack.
No, I can't handle that. No. All right, next here are some rules text that will be showing up on cards. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each opponent you're attacking.
That's fine. So it will be a 1 mana discount legacy.
Yeah. That artifact becomes a 0/0 homunculus artifact creature with flying.
Do you pronounce it homunculus?
How do you pronounce it?
Homunculus.
Yeah. Homunculus. I don't know, man. I guess I do pronounce it homunculus.
Dude, I just got to ask you every pronunciation now that I know you're the Teferi guy.
Here's the thing: is there was a time and place where 1, I didn't have a lot of friends, and 2, I only read all this stuff. So that's so I don't know how many of you are big Wheel of Time fans. I read all the Wheel of Time books well before the show or the audio books came out. And so even listening to the audiobooks when they pronounce something, I'm like, oh, apparently it's pronounced that way. But even with that, like as a kid, I think for a little bit of time, I pronounced Dris Duorden as Drizzt Duorden.
Yeah, Drizzt.
Yeah. And my wife pronounced it Dr. Is It.
Yeah, Dr. Is It's way better. I like that. That was the best
Dr.
one.
Is It PhD.
I want to congratulate you on your humble brag of used to not having a lot of friends. Must be nice.
I mean, I still don't have a lot of friends now, but I didn't have anybody to bounce these words off of.
we have too many friends, Zach. We have too many.
Too many.
We got to get rid of some.
Start willing down.
Yeah, we got to narrow this down.
All right. A spell you cast. Whenever you cast a spell you don't own.
That's a cool piece of text. Whenever you cast a spell you don't own.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm very happy that Ragavan's out of the format. If this card is good, whatever this is.
Yeah.
Whenever you cast a spell you don't. Whenever you cast a spell you don't own, draw 2 cards.
Yeah, something ridiculous like that, right? If you control neither creature, draw 3 cards. So that's going to be specifically a commander thing. I guess it could be a legacy thing if it's like choose 2 creatures. If you control neither creature, draw 3 cards.
Yeah, I mean, I could if
each
this
creature
card
deals its damage and power to you.
Let's hypothetically this card. Okay, 1 in a blue, instant. Target two creatures. If you control neither creature, draw 3 cards. That's insane, isn't it?
No. How about this?
One blue.
One blue. Target 2 creatures. They deal their toughness and damage to you. Draw 3 cards.
Well, this one says if you control neither creature. Oh, so you're saying you're saying you have to be behind on. You have to have 2 creatures on the opposite side of the table from you, and they will also punish you harder to draw 3 cards.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know why I wouldn't just say target 2 of your opponent's creatures, they deal damage to you, draw 3 cards.
If you control neither creature, maybe
it's probably something like I mean, there's obviously an upside to that card. that isn't,
yeah.
that.
My guess is that it's a 5-mana spell and it's not going to be good, but
Yeah,
draw 3
fair.
cards is always intriguing. So
all right, you don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. This is some kind of lich spell or lich potion. It might be like an artifact, or even better. I've just been waiting for this to be a thing. Equipment that you can attach to planeswalkers to yourself. Like you could be like, I'll attach this lich spell onto myself, and now like I'm a lich, and lich text happens.
Well, theoretically, so that would mean that this would essentially be a curse then, right?
Yes.
An enchant player, it's a curse. You don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. Is like the lich curse.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
That would work,
My
right?
computer is blowing up, and I'd like to stop it from doing that.
Well, explosions happening here
in the worst ways
on Eternal Durdles.
There we go.
I'm gonna start the next one while you're going.
Please do.
Tokens you control have tap. And that's it. That's the text they're gonna have.
Yeah.
There's gonna be something that says tokens you control have tap, do a thing, and we don't know what that thing is. So my guess is it's tokens you control have tap, you win the game. It's pretty powerful. On the next one, then choose a third player. Man, if there was meaningless text in Legacy. On to the next one.
Yeah, then choose a third player. Like you could just choose like the guy next to you at the you're like, hey man, you're gonna be gaining like 5 life in the middle of this match.
Maybe it's a card that says create a copy of yourself that becomes a third player.
There you go.
A third player who can't lose the game.
And draw 3 cards, and then choose the third player to draw 3 cards.
Yeah, where's the card that lets me make a copy of myself?
I like the idea
world needs
that, like,
more of that.
You could be at a Magic tournament, you could be at the top table, and like just about to lose, and someone taps you on the shoulder and is like, "Yo, dude, I had to choose a third player, draw 3 cards," and you're just like, "Oh, okay."
Back in it. What a turn of events.
You like really set yourself up.
The game within the game.
You could really get like it's like the whole like I'm sending you my energy kind of situation where like everybody in the tournament just chooses me to draw cards.
It really becomes you are only as good as your team.
Yeah. Finally,
Magic's a team sport.
So where X is the total mana value of dragons you control.
I mean, this is only going to be good. This is only going to be good if it's a 1-mana spell and you're only ever going to control 1 dragon, and I don't know what it would be. But my guess is that if it works with Fairy Dragon and it's very good, then maybe it's good enough.
Yeah.
Because you have Murktide Region too. So maybe it's like, if it were blue, draw X cards, where X is the total mana value of dragons you control, and you just draw 7 when you have Murktide, then okay, we're doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Put a number of time counters on it equal to its mana value.
Yeah.
All right. It's not going to see play anywhere. You may cast your commander from the command zone without paying its mana cost. So many commanders in Legacy.
Yeah, it's not going to do anything for us.
All right. Flavor words, the best words.
Here are some flavor words for the set. Devour Intellect. That is a magic spell that does things.
What does it do?
You want to find out? I'll find out. I will find out right now, Phil. Here we go.
He's got the spell book. Bust out that spell book.
I got the spell book. Watch out, he's got a spell book, guys.
Whoa. What are all these lightning and magical effects happening around you while you open the spell book? This is crazy.
Devour Intellect. Coming up. DV.
I mean, it's got to be some kind of blue-black spell, right? Or blue-black effect?
It's not in here.
I guess it could be green. I guess you could devour. Yeah.
Devour Intellect is probably a creature ability that I don't.
These are flavor words, so they're not actually going to have any.
Well, some of them are like Big B's Hand. Big B's Hand is one.
Yeah.
Homunculus Servant is.
There you go. Sound it out.
Also like Big B's Hand. Gathered Swarm is like a bunch of bugs. Avoidance is probably like a blossoming defense style spell.
It's also what I do with my responsibilities.
Yeah. Vicious Mockery. We already have Tasha's Hideous Laughter. I feel like Vicious Mockery is a bard spell or cantrip that basically just like puts your opponent at disadvantage when they're rolling, which basically means that they roll 2 die when they're doing something and they take the lowest one.
Vicious mockery is also how I would describe how my friends treat me.
Yes, yes. Blood drain.
Mhm.
I think we all understand what blood drain is. That's
Yeah, it sounds
probably
like
a
it's-
vampire ability.
We love vampires.
Yeah, of course. Mantle of inspiration. Mantel of inspiration, not mantle.
Mantel. Animate chains.
Animate. Animated chains. This could be like a I mean it's probably like a O-ring effect, would be my guess. Death Ray is probably just to
kill you.
It probably exiles something.
Gotta kill something. If
all
Death
right.
Ray is like reanimate something, it's not gonna make sense.
All right, these creature types in the lines of text. This is rough for me because I don't know a lot of the newer characters from Forgotten Realms. Like Halfling Knight, I don't know I don't know any Halfling Knights.
Well, halflings are like hobbits, right?
Halflings are indeed hobbits. In fact, the reason why they're not called hobbits is because J.R.R. Tolkien owns that word, and we can't use it.
So this is Sam. This is Sam.
Yeah, it could be.
Halfling
It could
Knight.
be like a Samwise Gamgee type character. I can't think of any like famous halflings that aren't Regis, and Regis is a what's it called a rogue.
Remind me.
Regis also might be the other character that we're missing because I don't think we got Regis. Tiefling is a half demon.
That's right. That's what I was like.
Tiefling,
I remember that.
Tiefling barbarian. I do not know. Gith warrior. I do have a pretty good idea. I think that's Lizelle from the Baldur's Gate 3 game.
What's a Gith?
Gith are okay. So this is great. Gith Zeri and Gith Yankee are sort of a race of. They used to be a slave race to mind flayers, but they hated mind flayers so much that they broke out of that, and now they wander the like blind eternities. It's called the Flotsam in D&D. They wander that, trying to genocide the mind flayers now. So they're very they like have intense hatred for mind flayers. In fact, the way the Baldur's Gate 3 game starts is you meet Lizelle, and you are both under the like basically like you have a mind flayer inside of you, like starting to like eat away at you, and so you become friends that way.
Get that out of here.
You know because trauma. Dragon peasant. I have no idea. For dragon peasant. Bear warrior. No.
So there was a couple of things have leaked. So there is a legendary bear that was spoiled. That's a 2/2 that has like vigil. It has like 3 vanilla keywords plus ward 2 plus some other text.
It's
a lot for a 2/2.
Is it a warrior though?
I don't remember. I remember it was leaked though.
Yeah, let's find
out. We skipped over vampire elf rogue. So
yeah, I have one for that.
Vampire elf deck ready.
Vampire elf rogue is 100% Asterion from Baldur's Gate 3. He's like one of the other companion characters that you pick up. Let's find out about this bear. It is a bear warrior. Wilson Refined Grizzly is a bear warrior. Yeah, so that is your bear warrior.
Wilson,
as just like from that movie Castaway.
Wilson the Refined Bear. Man, what a name for a refined bear. It has like 6 abilities, right?
Yep. It's got Vigilance, Reach, Trample, Ward 2, and choose a background. All for 2 mana.
Yes,
power creep, guys.
It can't be countered. It has 4 vanilla abilities, and it draws you a card.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Devil Noble.
Sweet. We love Devil Nobles.
Yep.
We love devils that are part of the royalty.
Human boar. So that's probably a wereboar of some kind.
Okay.
Wereboars exist. You can, lycanthropes are a thing. Cat devil. Sure.
And finally, the best one. The best one. Let's go.
Angel, elephant angel. Elephant angel.
We need Entreat the Elephants. If I don't get Entreat the Elephants that makes elephant angels, I'm flipping my table that is glued to the wall.
We should cover the Misfits angel fuck and just change it to elephant angel. A little angel elephant.
I'm as we speak, I'm posting that part of Maro's teaser to Twitter to petition to make sure that it's Entreat the Elephants.
Entreat the Elephants.
If it's not Entreat the Elephants, we riot.
It could be. It could also be. What's the overrun, but for angels?
It's Entreat the Elephants. I'm writing it right now. Go
stomp, but for elephants.
Go to my Twitter. Tag Maro.
Isn't elephant angel just a dead elephant?
What? Don't be so morbid,
dead
man.
Elephant. It's just a dead elephant.
Don't be so morbid. Oh, it's a legend. it's a legendary creature though, which is unfortunate. So it's not going to be a spell. But what if it's a legendary creature that has miracle, and you can miracle it, and it entreats the elephants?
It's a bunch of flying 3/3s.
Dude, I'll cast a bunch of Dumbos.
Yeah, man, Dumbos, legit Dumbos. Yeah. There you go.
Just give me, Dummy the Dumbo Maker, and I can miracle him for blue-white, and he makes elephant angels.
Yeah, there you go. Well, right. I mean that's all that spoiler list for Maro's like duelist style things. I don't know, man. I'm psyched for this set. I think that there's going to be a lot of really cool stuff. I mean, I obviously play Commander, so I'm already hyped just to have like new things to build around. But I think we're going to get a few like really good, and from the spoilers I've seen in the like that have been spoiled thus far, and we don't really want to talk about yet because we'll wait till stuff actually starts to come out. It looks like there's going to be some good reprints too. You get into like the diamond cycle and stuff, and I don't know. I'm excited to go back to D&D land and do it right this time.
Also, just finding out now. Banned and restricted announcement, nothing for Legacy, but in Explorer, for all you Explorer fans out there, Winota, Joiner of Forces is banned because that card's a piece of shit.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
And then Tybalt's Trickery is banned because who knew that card was even legal?
Yeah, I didn't even know it was legal. What are you doing?
Even know.
What are you doing allowing that card in that format?
Winota is an absolutely awful experience for everybody at the table, though. It should happily leave every format.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think with that final announcement there, I think that's it. It's a short episode today. We just wanted to talk about what those spoilers for Maro. Phil, you're going to be out for a week or two.
Yep. So I'm going to be heading to Sacramento to cover the World's Strongest Man competition.
Surprisingly, not Phil apparently.
Look, I just
can't cover a competition just about yourself, I guess.
I'm covering it and I'm gonna win it. I gotta show these 400-pound giant humans, how to really lift a giant stone off the floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. I will be traveling and probably back in time to record and get something out for you guys next week as well. I had a death in the family that I have to go deal with. But I should be back in time to figure out a episode for next week, and I'm turning 42 on Monday, so that for you guys that will be 2 days ago, or that will be today. It'll be today. You'll be watching this as I turn 42.
Happy birthday!
Yeah,
right now.
Happy birthday. I'm looking forward to this one. I think I'm actually gonna work that day, and then on that Wednesday I'm gonna go to the zoo.
Nice.
Just hang out.
Yeah, that's a good birthday.
Zoo. Do like do something like that.
Yeah, but you gotta hang out with the elephant angels over at the zoo.
So So anyhow, we got a lot of stuff going on in the real life. So please forgive us if we're not super on schedule for everything, but we got some stuff in the pipeline for y'all.
This is better than this.
Hey, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out this other video, and if you can, please support us on patreon.com.